This is a story of historic progress, a story that doesn't exist without you. Our unifying effort in 3 decades of action demonstrates our commitment and endurance. And our progress thus far shows that a polio-free world is achievable. Individuals, clubs, partners, and governments share a collective vision to improve the health of every single child. We've eliminated polio in some of the most difficult places, overcoming obstacles and navigating complex issues. Our successes prove that polio will be eradicated, and while ending a global disease is not easy, as Rotary, we don't give up. We'll continue our fight until each child is protected. This isn't possible without you. So stay involved, keep pushing forward, engage your clubs and communities. Start a social media conversation and increase visibility on the importance of this global effort. Hold events and fundraisers on World Polio Day and throughout the year. Advocate to governments about the importance of supporting polio eradication. Make a contribution and invest in one of the largest health initiatives ever. Be a character in our story. Be the solution to our challenge. It's because of each and every one of you that we will improve our future by making polio a disease of the past. Eradication is possible, so let's keep our promise.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you are in. On behalf of the Zone 10A Rotary Foundation team and the End Polio Now team, I'd like to call this 4th Polio Summit to order. I will also be your host, so bear with me. You'll hear a lot of me this day. And to begin with, to formally start this Polio Summit, we'd like to invoke the presence of the Lord. I'd like to call on our ARRFC past District Governor, Connie Beltran, to lead us with the prayers.
Let us all bow our heads. We bow our heads, dear Father, first of all, to praise you. We thank you for this gathering of energetic Rotarians who join hands to devote themselves to strengthen our organization, Rotary International. As we come together today, we humbly ask for your guidance as we pursue the direction of our organization. We humbly ask you to strengthen our unwavering commitment to making courageous decisions and actions to achieve our goals. We humbly ask you to make us more united, stronger, and committed in our role as effective and dynamic Rotary leaders, ever more responsive to the concerns of our society and ever mindful of our paramount role in the global community. We humbly ask you to make us continue to put primacy to those who are the least, the last, and the lost in much of our economic, social, and cultural structures. We humbly ask you to bring us to places where we can bring a ray of light, a ray of hope at the end of a dark tunnel. Finally, teach us to value the blessings that you have bestowed in us. Grant that we who have enough should learn to be more compassionate and generous in sharing with those who have less. All this we ask, that in all we do, we bring happiness to our loved ones, happiness to the people we serve, and most of all, joy to you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Gov Connie, for the beautiful prayer. And to formally welcome all of us, we'd like to call on the District Governor of District 3780, our Zoom host, and who has been graciously hosting the Zoom for the Polio Summit for the last 4 years, District Governor Paul Angel Galang.
Thank you, Governor Mayan. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Rotarians and friends, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. A warm and heartfelt welcome to the End Polio Summit event of Zone 10A in the Philippines. Today, we are honored to have our Rotary International President, Gordon McInally, and other esteemed dignitaries. This gathering marks a pivotal moment in our journey towards a polio-free world. The presence of President McInally and our esteemed guests adds an extra layer of significance to this event, underscoring the unwavering commitment of Rotary International to the global fight against polio. In the Philippines, we have been at the forefront of the End Polio campaign, showing that our dedication to service knows no bounds. This event not only reflects the hard work of our Rotarians, but also the power of partnership that have brought us to this brink of eradication. As we come together today, let us remember the children whose lives have been forever changed by polio and the millions more we aim to protect. This event is not just a gathering, it's a great sign of hope, unity, and determination. With President McInally's presence, we are reminded of the global scale of our mission. We are part of a worldwide network of Rotarians striving for a polio-free world today. We reaffirm our commitment to this noble cause. So as we enter this day with enthusiasm, knowing that together we can and will end polio, let us be inspired by the dedication of our global Rotary family and motivated by the children we aim to save. To all my fellow Rotary leaders, thank you for being here, for your unwavering support, and for the collective power we wield in the fight against polio. Likewise, thank you so much to our End Polio Now Coordinator, Gov. Mayan Solomon, and to the entire RFC team headed by Governor Penny Policarpio for all your untiring support for us and for making this day a stepping stone towards a brighter polio-free future. Welcome to the End Polio Summit event of Zone 10A in the Philippines. Together, we are unstoppable in our quest to eradicate polio from the face of the earth as we ensure to create hope in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gov Paul. Yes, together we will make history. Together we will end polio. And to introduce our dignitaries and guests, we'd like to call on the first Zone 10A Polio Plus Society Coordinator, former District Polio Coordinator of District 3790, Carla Espinosa.
Thank you, Gov. Mayan. It is an honor and privilege to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed speakers who will be properly introduced later. Rotary International President Gordon McInally, past Rotary International President Countdown to History Chair and International Polio Plus Committee Vice Chair John Germ, International Polio Plus Committee Chair, past Rotary International Vice President Michael McGovern, past Rotary International Director Countdown to History Vice Chair Robert Hall, Rotary International Director Gimbok Chu, Global Chair Polio Plus Society Coordinator, past Rotary International Vice President Brenda Cressy, past Rotary International Director Gilier Tumangan, past Rotary International Director Rafi Garcia, from the Regional Rotary Foundation, Regional Rotary Foundation Chair, past District Governor Penny Policarpio, Endowment and Major Gifts Advisor, past District Governor June Farcon, International Polio Plus Committee Member and Polio Now Coordinator, past District Governor Mary Ann Solomon, other regional directors, Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator, past District Governor Connie Beltran, Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator, past District Governor Rodel Riz Reyes, our Zone 10A District Governors, from District 3770, District Governor District 3780, District Governor Paul Angel Paul Galang, District Governor Francis Corneo, our governor from District 3790, District 3780, District Governor Ronaldo Pope Solis, District 3810, District Governor Lilian Lai de la Cruz, District 3820, District Governor William Pastor De Loro Jr., District 3830, District Governor Antonio J. Tambunting, District 3850, District Governor Maria Esther Mate Espina, District 3860, District Governor Roseanne Twinkle Gamboa, District 3870, District Governor Gilda Gigi Go, past and future governors, district polio coordinators, district polio plus society coordinators, incumbent presidents, fellow Rotarians, and interactors. In the event that I miss someone, you will be acknowledged later. Thank you. Back to you, Gov. Mayan.
Thank you very much, Carla. I know introducing dignitaries and guests actually is the most difficult part of the program. So as you said, in the event that you miss out introducing anyone, they will be introduced later. At this point, we'd like to grab the opportunity to have our first photo op. So I'd like to request everyone to open their video. So this is the first photo op where we can get the attendance of everyone. We hope you have renamed yourself and place your district before your name.
Okay, page 1. 1, 2, 3, smile. Page 2. 1, 2, 3, smile. Page 3. 1, 2, 3, smile. Page 4. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tope, our technical support, and together with JN and Shivi. So thank you in advance. At this point, we'd like now to call on the past district governor, imaginative district governor, Dilo Alinio of District 3860, to formally introduce our keynote speaker, President Gordon McAnally.
Thank you very much, EPSC. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker. R. Gordon R. McAnally was educated at the Royal High School in Edinburgh and at the University of Dundee, where he earned his graduate degree in dental surgery. He operated his own dental practice in Edinburgh until 2016. Gordon was chair of the East of Scotland branch of the British Paedodontic Society and has held various academic positions. He has also served as Presbytery Elder, chair of the Queensferry Parish Congressional Board, and commissioner to the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland. Gordon joined Rotary in 1984 at age 26, a member of the Rotary.
Lilo, please unmute yourself. Wait.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gopean. I will repeat what I said.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience. And it is really my pleasure and to introduce our guest speaker. R. Gordon R. McAnally was educated at the Royal High School in Edinburgh and at the University of Dundee, where he earned his graduate degree in dental surgery. He operated his own dental practice in Edinburgh until 2016. Gordon was chair of the East of Scotland branch of the British Pedodontic Society and has held various academic positions. He has also served as a presbytery elder, chair of the Queensferry Parish Congressional Board, and commissioner to the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland. Gordon joined Rotary in 1984 at age 26. A member of the Rotary Club of South Queensferry, he has served as president and vice president of Rotary International in Great Britain and Ireland. He has also served RI as director and several committees, including as chair of the 2018 Toronto Committee and chair of the Operations Review Committee. Gordon's vision is that Rotary should exist everywhere in a style to suit everyone who has the desire to be part of us and to help us do good in the world. He's also anxious to see Rotary support those suffering from poor mental health through a new initiative launched at the 2023 Rotary International Assembly. Gordon is a patron of the UK-based nonprofit Hope and Homes for Children and led a partnership between that organization and RIBI to support children in Rwanda who had been orphaned in the genocide there. He is a patron of Trade Aid, an initiative, the Rotary Club of Grantham, Kesteven, Lincolnshire, England, that provides sustainable humanitarian aid to individuals, families, and businesses in a developing world. He is also an ambassador for Bipolar UK, a national mental health organization. Gordon describes the Rotary Foundation as the engine that provides the energy to do Rotary service. He and his spouse Heather, also a Rotarian, are Paul Harris Fellows, major donors and benefactors of the Rotary Foundation. They are also members of the Bequest Society. Gordon has dedicated his presidency to making the world a better place for his granddaughters, Ivy and Florence, and all the children of the world to live and thrive. Fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Rotary Hope Creating International President, R. Gordon R. McInally.
Our human compassion binds us the one to the other, not in pity or patronizingly, but as human beings who have learned how to turn our common suffering into hope for the future. These words were spoken by Nelson Mandela, and they express so much of what it means to be a Rotary member and to take up the challenges of our times, to see beyond the divisions and conflicts, finding our singular human need for connection. And one of the most important challenges we face, and one of the most important ways we are connected just now, is through polio eradication. I am delighted to join you at this important summit, all the more because, as you will all know, our polio eradication campaign began right there in the Philippines. Rotary's legacy will long be defined by our work on polio. It remains Rotary's top corporate priority. And there is so much we have done over the past 35 years of which we can be proud as we have followed our dream of a polio-free world. Make no mistake, together we will end polio. And once that happens, when that happens, Rotary will deserve enormous historical credit. So this is the time for us to go beyond what's necessary year to year and make sure we provide every resource necessary to succeed as quickly as possible. I don't need to tell you how important it is that we raise at least $50 million each year to receive the full Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation match. That's a big task, and I'm about to make an important ask. Last year, 4 of the 10 Philippines districts allocated 20% of their district-designated funds to polio eradication. This year, let's see that number grow. Last year, you were generous in cash donations too, setting a new record in excess of $850,000. Anyone who knows me will know how competitive I am. So let's see an increase in that figure too and set another new record. We made a promise to the children of the world all these years ago that we would eradicate polio. Rotary is not in the business of breaking its promises. When we celebrate the final eradication, there is going to be a big party. And I know how much you like to party there in the Philippines. All of us in Rotary will want to be at that party. Well, to be there, you need to buy a ticket. And the cost of the ticket is a donation to the polio campaign. We need to heed the insightful words of Jonas Salk, the creator of the polio vaccine, who said, "Hope lies in dreams, in imagination, and in the courage of those who dare to turn dreams into reality. Together, let us turn our dreams of a polio-free world into a reality. Together, let us create hope in the world." Mabuhay.
Mabuhay. Thank you very much, President Gordon. Together, we will end polio. At this point, we're also honored to have the presence of our Rotary International Director all the way from Singapore, but who is now in the United States. So thank you very much for waking up early. Let's hear it from our Rotary International Director, Gimbo Chu.
Thank you to Emperor Corinthian Solomon. Of course, Rotary International President Gordon McNally, past Rotary International President John Germs, all the Rotary dignitaries, past district Rotary International directors, trustees, my fellow Rotary members, good greetings from Evanston. Actually, I'm not from Singapore. In a few hours, I will be actually meeting the president. So, Rotary has been working to eradicate polio for more than 35 years, as to what alluded by the president. So, in 1979, a major grant helped to immunize 6.3 million children in Philippines against polio, which led to the establishment of the Polio Plus in 1985. So Rotary's work with polio eradication, helping reduce wild polio from an estimated 1,000 cases per day in 1988 to just 9 cases today, 3 in Pakistan, 6 in Afghanistan. In other words, we help to reduce the number of cases by 99.9%. So this has been one of the most ambitious humanitarian projects ever undertaken by an NGO. So this success story alone shows the significant and widespread impact of Rotary and its foundation. Can you imagine the economic cost if we did not immunize those 2 billion children across 122 countries? Our goal of ridding the world of this disease is closer than ever. Rotarians from Zone 10A has been doing incredible jobs in raising funds to fight polio, as what President Gordon just acknowledged. Your last year contributions was the all-time high, and I am happy you will continue to support the cause. Tonight's Polio Summit is one good example of your continuing support. Thanks for helping the children of the world, and keep up the good work you have done. I wish you success in yet another year. See you soon.
See you soon, Direct Gimbok in Kaohsiung Institute. See you, and thank you for waking up early together with RI President John, our past RI VP Brenda, and past RI Director Robert, and our IPPC Chair, Mike. At this point, we'd like to listen and look at this video.
There are 678,290,000-ish children under 5 around the world. But what's so important about being 5? A lot, it turns out. Children who survive to age 5 are twice as likely to reach adulthood. That's why vaccines for young children matter so much. In the last 40 years, global public health infrastructure has reached children here, and here, and even here. Impressive, right? But 12.5 million children in the world are still totally unvaccinated. They're called zero-dose children. Some of these kids are hard to reach because they're living in conflict zones or remote villages. But some aren't that far away, living in dense low-income urban centres. Essentially, they could be anywhere. Can we really find them? Absolutely. India proved it could be done. In 2009, nearly a third of Indian children under 2 years old were zero-dose children. That year alone, there were 741 reported cases of polio, more than any other country in the world. But with just 1 year of vaccination campaigns that included special strategies to reach zero-dose children, they reduced that number to 42 cases. But how? Well, in some places, vaccinators look for families at bus and train stations. Others use motorbikes or trekked by foot to find children in the most remote regions. And to tackle 107 city blocks identified as high risk, vaccinators travelled house to house, delivering immunisations for polio and other preventable diseases. Doing this required 4 million vaccine carriers, 5 million vaccinators, 344 million children vaccinated, and 450 million doses of polio vaccine. See? It can be done, and the results are worth it. Let's make sure all children grow up healthy and vaccinated against preventable diseases, and ensure that zero-dose children are a thing of the past.
We will now be inspired with more testimonials from our next speakers on why they give to polio. I just glanced at the gallery and I know this is an international audience from all over the world. I even see some of my EPNC classmates from other parts of the world. So I apologize that I could not recognize you right now, but later on I will. We'd like to be inspired first by a leader, a great leader. He is the great district governor, and he will talk on leading the way and walking the talk. Our past RI director, Giler Tumangan.
Thank you, Mayor. RI dignitaries, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Polio caused a scare in the US as early as in the 1930s. Down under, a Rotarian named Clem Renault contributed a substantial portion of profits from his business to fighting infantile paralysis long before he served as district governor and in the RI board. Was it part of the divine plan that when Benny Santos brought polio to the attention of Rotary International, Clem Renault was the RI president? As mentioned earlier by President Gordon and RI Director Gimbok, the battle against polio began with the first 3X grant amounting to $760,000 approved in 1979 to purchase polio vaccine for the 6.3 million children in the Philippines, and the participation of RI President James Bomar in the implementation. The sincerity and solidarity of Rotary in supporting TRF provided an instant sense of legitimacy and urgency that convinced world leaders and the Gates Foundation to fund global polio eradication. Since this 2030 came to be, what epidemics and pandemics have the world gone through? West Nile virus and dengue, anthrax, SARS, measles, swine flu, whooping cough, MERS, Ebola, Zika, and COVID-19. These are vaccine preventable diseases now. You might have asked, why would a loving, holy, and almighty God allow a child to suffer through serious illness? The commonsensical response would be adults ought to use their time, brain power, influence, and wherewithal to protect children. The truth is, the Spirit of God gave us does not make us timid, but give us power, love, and self-discipline. This backstory is important to remember because without this, a surveillance system would not have been in place. Without this, COVID-19 vaccine development and production could have been much delayed. To fully protect a child against polio costs about $3. When you contribute $100 as a member of the Polio Society, it would appear you are protecting 33 children. For example, in 2017, 439 million children were vaccinated in 39 countries. Massive effort makes it happen. To eradicate polio, it is not all vaccine. 100 million is spent to conduct polio surveillance. Some 256,428 vaccinators and help staff deliver the vaccine. To make this happen, TRF funded 6,751 vehicles, 1,530 motorbikes, 1,150 cars, and 17 boats. When each of us contribute $100, the Polio Society, we are making sure that large-scale immunization campaign continues globally, thereby ensuring that polio-free areas remain that way. COVID-19 made global leaders realize that an even more rapid response is needed to contain the spread of a virus and significantly limit the human and socio-economic costs of pandemic. There is now a new paradigm and a catalog of 37 innovations to vaccine accelerated development, early manufacturing, and authorization of the COVID-19 vaccines. The aspirational goal is just 100 days to suppress disease transmission and deliver a new vaccine. We are gathered here tonight because we have been chosen to be co-creator of hope, commissioners in saving lives and saving souls. And the divine mandate state, be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. Let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as in the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. The plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for the evil, to give you a future and a hope. May these verses provide you with hope and strength to carry you through the storms of life. May your faith be renewed. The God of hope fills you with all joy and peace. Be the hope in the world. Why not make an online transfer of $100 right now? In my case, I walk the talk. Every year on the 8th day of July, I always donate online for polio eradication campaign. I hope that at least 80% of the Rotarians in the Philippines will be a member of the Polio Plus Society. Contribute now. On the first 100 days of each Rotary year, at least let us all contribute. Thank you, and good evening, and good afternoon, and good morning.
Thank you very much, Direk Villar, for the call to action for Rotarians of Zone 10A in the Philippines to be a member of the Polio Plus Society. I'm very happy to say that each district, we average around 200, 300 Polio Plus Society members and growing. At this point, it is also my honor and privilege to introduce one of the Philippines' great FAST RI director. Is an AKS with a circle. I'd like to call on FAST RI director Rafi Garcia to inspire us on why he continues to give.
Thank you, ma'am. Rotary dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be, thank you for allowing me to deliver this short message at our End Polio Summit 2023. The Philippines was where it all started. On September 29, 1979, then Rotary International President Jim Bomar came to the Philippines to give the first 2 drops of the oral polio vaccine to a child in Makati, Guadalupe Viejo, at a site behind the present building of the Rotary Club of Makati, as the inaugural step in the implementation of the 3H grant to inoculate 6 million Filipino children with a soft oral polio vaccine. The late past RI President Matt Capras, who was then an RI director, opened up the ceremonies on that fateful day and said, and I quote, "We are here to mark the beginning, a very small beginning of what we hope will be a great thing, the total eradication from the face of the earth of a dreaded disease, poliomyelitis," end of quote. And indeed, since 1979, Rotary has been on the forefront of the fight to eradicate polio. And in 2000, the Philippines was declared polio-free, along with other Western Pacific countries. Thank you, Rotary, for making this happen. In 2008, I was invited to join a national immunization day in India. I was assigned to assist in a vaccination center in Mumbai, one of the most superpopulated cities in India. We set ourselves up in a vaccination center to start vaccinating as many children as we could. Children who missed getting the vaccine on the National Immunization Day usually ended up getting crippled for life because there was no cure once the virus takes hold of a child's body. I had a Rotary moment when I inoculated a little girl whose mother kept crying and wailing. Over and over, she kept shouting, "Shukriya, Shukriya." The Indian worker explained to me that the mother was thanking me for saving her daughter. He said that last year, the woman was planning to bring her son in for inoculation, but she got busy and forgot about it. Shortly after, her son was afflicted with polio, and now he was already paralyzed. But this was not going to happen to her daughter because I had come to inoculate her and save her life. And that's why she kept thanking me over and over, "Shukriya, Shukriya." It was like having the power of God. Those that you inoculated would be saved, while those that you did not or could not would be crippled for life. That is how powerful the Polio Plus program is. I felt the emotion of the moment, and I too started to cry. With the regular national immunization days, India was also declared polio-free in 2014. I feel so proud that I had contributed to the eradication of polio in India.
Yeah, pag-global grant dapat.
Rafi, you're on mute. You're on mute, Rafi.
I'm muted?
Now.
Yes, Direk, your last statement was you were contributing to India. You were part of it in India.
Okay. But to stress the importance of vigilance and continued vaccination of the population, an outbreak happened in the Philippines just a few years ago in September 16, 2019, when a 3-year-old girl in Lanao was found to have symptoms of acute flaccid paralysis. Tests confirmed that the child had vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2. Unfortunately, the population immunity coverage in the Philippines had been allowed to drop to as low as 41%, opening the children to possible contamination from imported polioviruses. Through the assistance of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, massive inoculation took place, and on June 11, 2020, the World Health Organization announced that the outbreak had been contained and the Philippines was again polio-free. That is why it is extremely important for us to continue contributing to Polio Plus for the inoculation of our children against polio. Last year, past RI President John Germ, when he was the TRF trustee chair, warned that Rotary may have a problem raising the $50 million that we needed to qualify for double matching by the Bill and Melissa Gates Foundation. And so I decided at that time that all my TRF contributions had to go to Polio Plus until polio is finally eradicated from the face of the earth. Last year, because of President John Germ's encouragement, I and my son-in-law, Nick Guzman, were the highest individual contributors to Polio Plus, and my Rotary Club was one of the most significant contributors to Polio Plus. Let us keep our promise to the children of the world. I urge all of you to join us in the fight against polio. Join me as I give all my annual TRF contributions to Polio Plus until polio is completely eradicated in the world. Remember, 0 is the magic number. Let us create hope in the world. Let us eradicate polio from the face of the earth. Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you very much, Direct Rafi. True, with your call to action, let us eradicate polio in the face of the world. We would now like to hear from our Rotary International senior leaders, the International Polio Plus Chair, past Rotary International Vice President, my boss in the International Polio Plus Committee, Mike McGovern. Mike, good morning to you.
Thank you very much, Mayanne. Wonderful to be with all of you in the Philippines, and hello to all the distinguished guests, the Rotarians, and so many others who care about polio eradication. First of all, I want to say I am very much enjoying some Cebu mangoes. You know, they reach all over the world, and Mayanne gave them to me recently, and good snack for the day. Anyway, what happened in McCarty, we talk about an awful lot, and some may wonder why we do that. You know, it was truly historic what happened there back in 1979, but it was just as historic what happened in the rest of the Philippines that followed that day. Rotarians in the Philippines showed that people from communities, volunteers such as Rotary, can come together and work on a very serious challenge, in this case, eradicating polio. You know, people didn't think a group like Rotary could do something like that in the health sector. They didn't think that Rotary could mobilize the government to help out as well. That's the example that was showed. You know, people, you know, like Benny Santos, Matt Caparis, June Tam Bunting, Peng Hekanova. You know, they were all truly some of the best leaders Rotary International has ever had. When I was there in 2008 at the District 3820 District Conference with Rose Salas, I asked to go to one place. I asked to go to McCarty. To me, that's sacred ground. But you know what? As great as that visit was, it was seeing all of the other work and the activities. And it really showed me why what happened in 1979, it continues to this day in the Philippines of Rotarians being dedicated. So you set the example, you gave the inspiration, you truly gave hope to everyone. So here we are, 2023, a lot of years later, and you know, we've come from 350,000 cases that were present in 1979 to just 9 this year. of the wild polio virus. 3 of them are in Pakistan. They're in the same community. So when you look at the entire world, we have 3 cases of wild polio virus in one community in Pakistan, and we've had 6 this year in Afghanistan. While it's not, those aren't in the same community, they're in the same state, the same region. So, as a result of Rotarians, by the example you set, working together, we've been able to achieve that, and also working with our partners in the different organizations. It's a bit of a challenge. We still have some environmental samples that are positive in other areas of Pakistan. And obviously, Afghanistan is a difficult place to work. We have a de facto government there that isn't recognized by most other governments. They don't treat some people with some of the rights that we all understand that all people should have. We're very happy that they did create an exemption in the health sector that women could work, including immunizing polio drops. And 25% of the polio workers in Afghanistan are, in fact, women. Those frontline workers we depend on every day. We've also had this variant polio virus. Sometimes we call them circulating vaccine-derived polio. Those have been present in Africa, and there's a few more of those. And as an example of what Rotary does there, tomorrow, all the Rotary leaders in polio in Africa are coming together for a conference, all online, to discuss how Rotarians can continue to mobilize to convince their countries to eradicate polio there and to ensure that the Rotarians continue to be engaged and involved. Those vaccine-derived cases or polio variant cases, they're down about 40% from what they were last year. There's a new or novel oral polio virus that's been given out 800 million times now, different doses, and that's proven to be very effective, reducing cases by 80% from what they otherwise would have been if we continued with the old vaccines. So, it's truly unique progress. Because of your support of people like Rafi, Director Rafi, and others, that's what enables us to do that. And others will be talking more about that, so I'm not going to go in that quite so much. But just this past week, the trustees approved $45 million to continue the surveillance that we do in Africa, to continue to provide polio vaccine, and just a couple of other examples. In Pakistan, we funded last year an entire national immunization day where 40 million children were immunized all in the course of a couple of days. We also funded supplemental immunization activities. In Afghanistan, we try to convince people to take the polio drops. In Afghanistan, we funded the entire work of UNICEF, who is responsible for convincing mothers to have kids not refuse drops or have them. We funded that entire program, and last year, more children than ever were immunized in Afghanistan than at any time in history. The former director of the Centers for Disease Control in the United States and a member of the Independent Monitoring Board, Dr. Tom Frieden, said a couple weeks ago, we're closer than ever to eradicating polio. We're not quite there. It's fragile. There's more work to be done. We still need to immunize 450 million children. And because of your support and your assistance, we are closer than ever to do that. So I thank you. It's wonderful to be with you. And I really, it's always dangerous to cite any one person in an audience, but I noticed Governor Jay Tam Bunting is on this call. And it was his father, June, who was one of those early leaders. And, I very much seeing those links to the long, long road we have ending polio. It was people like June and people like you who are all going to be remembered as having together ended polio. Thank you very much, Mian.
Thank you very much, Mike. You mentioned District Governor Jay Tambunting of District 3830, together with his father and the late past RI Director Paeng Hechanova and the late EPNC past District Governor Oski de Venecia. They were our polio pioneers. So in District 3830, as past RI Director Paeng would say, it started in Makati in the Philippines. Hopefully it will end in Makati as well. with the generous contributions from District 3830. At this point, we'd like to call on our next speaker. He is my all-star team president in Rotary year 2016-2017 with the mantra, together everyone achieves more. And that has been our guide for the past years in our End Polio Now team. We work as a team. Ladies and gentlemen, the International Polio Plus Coordinator Vice Chair, the Chair for the End Polio Now Countdown to History, past Rotary International President, John Jern. John?
Well, excuse me. Thank you very much, Mian. It's a pleasure to be at my fourth virtual Polio Summit. I always enjoy hearing the success stories and hearing the wonderful words of encouragement that when we visited the Philippines many times and on these Zoom calls. I guess the most important word that I would say during this event is say thank you. Thank you for your continued dedication. Thank you for what you have done and what you are doing. During the comments that we've heard today, we've heard words such as energetic, passionate, dedication, commitment, success, tenacity, promise, hope. All of those words have led us to last year achieving that $50 million that Ravi talked about and that we all talk about every day. That really didn't get us to $50 million. That got us to $150 million. Because the Gates Foundation matched that 2-to-1. Now, while they put in $100 million, they did not tell us how to spend that $100 million, except that it must be spent for polio. You heard Mike McGovern say that we just approved, the trustees just approved $45 million as a result of the recommendations of the International Polio Plus Committee, which Mian sits on. It's that tenacity that Bill Gates said is why he gives that money to the Rotary Foundation. Because Rotarians have passion. They have tenacity. They have the commitment. And they fulfill their promises. You're helping us to fulfill those promises around the world. 9 cases of the wild polio virus is 9 cases too many. That could lead to other cases of the vaccine-derived virus. The novel vaccine is helping to solve that problem. But the real solution to the problem is you and I. You and I, as we contribute funds, you and I, as we advocate with governments, excuse me, and you and I, as we continue to walk that road to 0 cases. Because together, we do end polio. Thank you for letting me be with you. I hope you have a pleasant evening and that you will continue the hard work and the success of having Polio Plus societies in all of your districts to get more members, because those members can give us contributions that, as Goodyear said, can help save more children. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. Again, together we will end polio, and together everyone achieves more. I'd like now to call on past RI Director, the Vice Chair for the the Vice Chair for the End Polio Now Countdown to History, the Rotary International President Representative to District 3860 in Rotary year 2016-2017, a very good friend, Robert Hall. Robert?
We had a great time. Am I unmuted now, Mia? Yeah. We had a great time in 3860. The first thing we did when we got there, I remember I was taking pictures at the hotel y'all put us up at, and I was using Charlene's camera on the 7th floor, looking down this gorgeous pool and everything, and I dropped her phone 7 floors. That was the start of the trip. But God, what a great time! And I see Connie Beltran on here, and the times we have with Oski, and and Gilia and Letty. I mean, it feels like home being with you today. So I want to thank you, man, for inviting me to the 4th. That's it, John. The 4th one we've been involved in here. And I want to thank Zone 10A. Gordon said this earlier. Last year, $850 US, that 850 US dollars. And then 4 out of 10 districts given 20% DDF. That's pretty good. That beats the worldwide average. And I know you're probably going to improve on it this year. You have every year that I watched Meanne and her team and Ricky Anders and all of you work and how good you've done. But let me talk. She asked me to talk about the miracle of the match. And when I think about that, I think about the first time Charlene and I went on a NID to India, and I wasn't really that excited. I'm not sure exactly how she developed this passion to go, but it changed my life. And we came back and made all of our 7 grandchildren Paul Harris Fellows. It put Rotary polio eradication efforts as the #1 thing we were passionate about in doing with other Rotarians to eradicate this disease. And the neat thing about it, when you tell a child something and you say, look, $1,000 was given in your name to the Rotary Foundation, and we basically said, you know, you give 2 drops to a child, and that's probably 50 cents a piece, we said back then. That's 2,000 children who were saved because of the gift in your name to polio, to Rotary. And so I remember our 6-year-old went to school and came back and told us, the teacher called his mom and said, you know what, your son John Roberts telling everybody, because of some money given to him to Rotary, 2,000 children will be able to walk and won't die and play, will be able to play, etc. What is this? So you tell a child and they tell everybody. The neat thing about it is not just $1,000 now, it's $3,000. And so as I've been through this with John, and we've been involved for a long time together working on this, as Mike said, we are just right there. But you don't accomplish anything significant in 1 year. You don't accomplish anything significant in a brief period of time. It takes a long effort. It takes staying power. I know that's why Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation stayed with us, and they said it many times, you're going to stay the course. You're going to get it done. And I visited with Tom Frieden one time. It was when Ebola was breaking out and the CDC, and Gary Wong and I went there. And he said, we thanked him for what the CDC was doing. He said, what can we do for you? He said, Rotarians have feet on the ground in leading positions everywhere in the world. You can help with your influence to get rid of Ebola. So we are respected. The Gates Foundation gives to us because we're respected, and we'll stay the course. But as I think about it, another individual I've met over here through our work, as I've worked with John on this for years, a guy, in fact, I joined this Rotary Club he's in this year. I changed Rotary Clubs. That he's given $6.5 million to Rotary, he and his wife, to Rotary for polio eradication. And I asked him after he'd given a couple of million, maybe, or maybe 2.5. I really didn't know why he was giving it. I mean, this is a lot of money, and 2.5 was a lot of money. And I said, Tommy, why are you so passionate about eradicating polio? And
Robert, you got muted. Please unmute, Robert.
Is it unmuted now? Unmuted now. So I'm not sure where I cut off there. I don't know what I did. But I asked this gentleman, Tommy Bagwell, why did you give a couple of million? And he said, well, I'm passionate about getting rid of polio, but where else can I invest $1? He invested. It's not an expense. It's an investment invest $1 and it turns into $3. Now you think about that. He's into leverage. Where else can you invest and leverage your money but Polio Plus? I mean, nowhere else can you do that. When you see Rotary report that we gave 400 million plus to projects all around the world, we're talking about polio contributing 150 of that. We don't talk about the 50. That's our goal, is to raise the 50. But if we do, Gates matches us with 100. So we're a big part of the foundation's 400 million plus goal and what we spend. And you know, it's not what we raise and what we give, it's what we do with the money. And Mike said it just last week, another 45 million was approved in global projects. I find a lot of district governors do not know or do not consider this a global grant. This is the global grant at the highest magnitude, $150 million that we give away every year in global grants. This is going to eradicate polio. So I look at the DDF you give. 4 out of 10 gave 20% last year. And I think, how can you get involved at the district, the club, and the Rotarian level? Well, 20% is a big deal. It's, you know, something 4 out of your districts have done. I know some districts in John Germ's zone, they all give it in July. Every district gives 20% of the DDF in July. I'm not sure why we wait to June and work so hard in June when we can do it in July. But when you give DDF, it's matched by the World Fund with 50 cents on the dollar, and then Gates matches it 2 to 1. It's a 4.5 to 1. So $1,000 becomes $4,500. How do you get a better investment than that? When I look at the clubs, and Gordon, I've never seen a Rotary National president so his support for polio eradication is great, and the letter he issued at the first of the year and his video was terrific, saying every club I'm asking you to $1,500. Every club, if you're a district governor, you talk to your presidents, and if they gave $1,500, what would that mean? Because $1,500, when it's matched 2 to 1, becomes $4,500. And every one of your clubs can do that, has the ability. It's just like a guy told me one time, we got the money, problem is it's still in your pocket. So the club can do that. One of the ways the club can do that, when you get to the individual Rotarian level and talk about the miracle of the match, is that with the Polio Plus Society, and I don't know what exactly you have me in set as the number, but a lot of districts or clubs, districts set it as $100. So if 15 members give $100, that's $1,500, and that's $4,500 for that club. So if I give $100 right there, that's matched 2 to 1, and that becomes $300. If I give 100, yeah, that becomes $300. So everybody can play in this game, the districts, the clubs, the Rotarians. And I just ask you, if you're a district governor or a club president on this call, look at what you're doing. You're way ahead of a lot of the other zones and a lot of the other districts, but we always can do better. Every year we can increase and we can reach. The bar is set higher, and we are almost there. And Mike told you where we were. We've had a few things come up, but it's so localized that we will get there. And just remember this, it's not what we raise, but what we do with what we raise. Thank you, man. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Robert. Incidentally, Robert was the chair of the Atlanta Rotary Convention, one of the most attended RI convention in the history. So this
And John Jerem was the president, right?
Yes,
that year.
All-star team year, and Atlanta Convention was in 2017. So I think
Right.
we had 55,000 participants registered. Congratulations for that. And I know we had good times with Charlene in Cebu and in Bohol. So we had good hosts and we enjoyed your time, and we remained friends since then.
Yes,
Thank
we
you very
did.
much, Robert. I'd
Thank
like
you.
now to call one very gracious lady. She's the first trustee chair, lady trustee chair, and a past RI vice president, and currently a member also of the EPMC team and the global coordinator for the Polio Plus Society. Fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful Brenda Cressy. Brenda, take it away.
Yeah. Thank you, Mian. It's so good to be here this evening, to be with this distinguished panel, Rotaractors and Rotarians. And oh, it's a pleasure to join you, Mian, and to have the opportunity to thank everyone for their commitment and passion. I really want to thank you for keeping the promise to the children of the world. And I want the Philippines to know, if you already don't, that you have taken a big step into the history of polio eradication. And yes, celebrate we will when we see that last case. I want to begin my short time with you today to share a story of a child, because I think when we keep hearing about another case or a case, we have to continue thinking about the child that has been affected. And speaking of a child, several years ago, my niece was visiting with her children, and she was against immunizations across the board. I'm very proud to say that my grandnephew, Micah, ended up writing a story about polio for a school project. He was being homeschooled at the time, and he happened to be sitting around the table when I was talking about Rotary's effort to eradicate polio. I was trying to understand why my niece was so against immunization of any kind, except to say that her oldest daughter had cerebral palsy. She was homeschooling her children because she didn't want them exposed to other children. The family was joining us for a week's vacation, and Micah heard us talk about polio and the effects on children. And of course, it made him think about his sister who couldn't walk because of polio, because of cerebral palsy, sorry. So this is his story that he wrote for his class, Micah's polio story. He said, he did this all by himself, by the way, online, checking on all the materials that we had. My project is on the program called the Rotary International, formed by a Chicago lawyer named Paul Harris. The purpose of their foundation is to promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, save mothers and children, support education, and grow economies. In 1917, President Arch C. Clump proposed endowments for the purpose of doing good in the world. In 1929, their first gift of $500 was given to the International Society for Crippled Children, which later grew to be Easter Seals. In 1978, Rotary introduced the Health, Hunger, and Humanity 3H grant. The first grant funded the immunization of 6 million Philippine children against polio. In 1985, the Polio Plus program was launched to eradicate polio worldwide. And in March 2014, India was declared polio-free, when hundreds of children per day used to get infected. Rotary was the big reason for sending 300,000 volunteers to deliver vaccines over the past 3 years. Then he says, polio is a virus that attacks the spinal cord and can cause muscle paralysis that can affect the legs and even stop a person from breathing. In 1952, there was a polio outbreak in the USA, which affected over 58,000 people that year and killed and crippled almost 25,000 of them. In 1957, Dr. Jonas Salk introduced the first successful polio vaccine, which is still used today in the efforts to eradicate polio. Rotary has helped immunize more than 2 billion children against polio in over 122 countries for only 60 cents per child. Sometimes, with 1 million children vaccinated in a couple of days, it's impossible to keep track of the children that got vaccinated. So they began coloring the pinkies of vaccinated children with a purple pen. This has now become a movement called the Purple Pinky Project to make sure every child is vaccinated and to bring awareness to the suffering that polio causes in poor countries. Ending polio is an achievement we can reach, but it takes awareness, volunteers, and money. You can join the Rotary in their international goal of eradicating polio by going to endpolionow.org to make a donation and read about how you can get involved. Coloring your pinky purple is one way to spread the word. This is from an 8-year-old child. He knew when he heard the story of children not being able to walk, he wanted to share that story. When he read this story in front of his class that day, because he did go to school for this project, some of the children began to laugh because he showed pictures of children crawling on the ground in India. And he stood up straight and tall and he said, "Don't laugh. You don't want to be one of these children." I was so proud of Micah for writing this story and sharing it with me. And I wanted to share it with you because it does bring us back to the beginning. Your district was at the beginning, and you will stand tall and straight to be with us until the end. So getting to why I was asked to join you today, and I will keep this brief, but districts around the globe are initiating or refreshing their new Polio Plus Society. The response has been amazing and very positive. This critical funding initiative allows each district to set their own criteria, including setting a minimum recurring amount in their own currency to join the Polio Plus Society membership, and deciding on their own recognition and marketing pieces. And you are certainly the leader in Zone 10A. The Rotary Foundation agree and support each district to have the flexibility to carry out this critical funding initiative in a way that works best for them in their own region, in their own country. So the establishment of Polio Plus societies is to emphasize the importance, the real importance of a recurring gift commitment to fulfill our promise to the children of the world. When we learn of yet a new case, I cannot think of it as a number or a case. I immediately think about the child. The child is not a case. The child will now live with polio forever, and the family will now need to support that child in ways that could never be imagined. To me, the child must be thought of first, rather than a case number. The Polio Plus Society is a way to reinvigorate your district, your club, and its members. We must not give up. We must remember that it is our promise to save each child from this devastating disease. This child might have had one vaccine away from being protected. It only takes a small gift to Polio Plus each year. Continue supporting our #1 priority to eradicate polio. I would like to recognize, and yes, Mike, sometimes it's hard to call out one person, but I would like to recognize your Polio Plus Society Chair, Carla Espinosa, for leading the charge in Zone 10A. You have heard now that you have 300 plus. Indeed, it will grow to 400 this year. Individuals like Gulye and Rafi, and so many of you on the screen today continue to support keeping our children healthy and happy. For just $100 or more, you can become a member of the Polio Plus Society. You must call Carla and do this today. Clubs are asked to raise $1,500 a year, and districts consider transferring the 20% of the DDF, and you're doing this. Indeed, the members, the clubs, and the members are meeting this important goal. 36,000 clubs of the 46,000 clubs around the world contributed to polio last year. I am so honored to be serving as Global Polio Plus Society Chair. I'm grateful to John Jerem and Robert Hall for asking me to lead the charge. And in so doing, I always remind you of the child, and I hope you will as well. What is your story? What is your commitment? The Philippines has a significant story in what will be shared and celebrated in the final chapter of Ending Polio, a story and a celebration of ending polio worldwide, once and for all. Keep up the great work. You are indeed an inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenda, for that inspiring message. And true enough, the Philippines is a catalyst for the Polio Plus Society, given that we have our first Zone 10A Polio Plus Society coordinator in the person of Carla Espinosa. And all districts have their district Polio Plus Society coordinator. So Zone 10A, the Philippines, again, lead the way. You mentioned about the children, and it's true, the children are the future of the world. Please watch this video.
I am the future of the world. I am the hope of my nation. I am tomorrow's people. I am the new inspiration. And we've got a song to sing to you. We've got a message to bring to you. Please let there be for you and for me a tomorrow. Tomorrow. If we all can agree, there'll be sweet harmony. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. And we all will be there. Coca-Cola to share. Feeling so real and so true. So real and so true. Promise us tomorrow. And we'll build a better world for you.
Yes, the children are the future of the world. Together, we can make history. Together, we will end polio now. I was going over the chat box, and it's heartwarming to see some of our Rotarians already pledging $100 for Polio Plus Society. Carla, we have past District Governor Nelson already pledged $100. And please
Deposited go.
make it, yes.
Already made the online deposit.
Oh,
Yes,
wonderful. Thank you very
Yes.
much. And I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of my classmate and Polio Now coordinator, Colleen, who's joining us here in the virtual Polio Summit, together with the Rotary Club of New Kent of District 7600, I believe. Is that correct, Colleen? If you can be heard. But thank you for joining us all the way from the United States as well. Good morning to you. At this point, I'd like
Good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to present the Zone 10A and Polio Now team. Of course, starting with the Rotary Foundation team. Can we see the slide, please, Tape? I'd like to acknowledge our Regional Rotary Foundation coordinator, Penny Policarpio, our Endowment and Major Gift Advisor, past District Governor June Farcon, and our TRF Advisor, Gov. Jess Nickdow, and the very active and dynamic Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation coordinators in the persons of District Governor nominee Gina Sanchez, past District Governor Connie Beltran, past District Governor J.P. Kadaing, past District Governor Tato Limayuga, past District Governor Rizal Reyes, past District Governor Gina C., past District Governor Edwin To, together with the End Polio Now team, Deputy End Polio Now coordinator here, Ricky Andres, and our TRF cadre, past District Governor Mike Lirio, with our advisor, past President Susan, Tita Glo Nethercutt. Next slide, please. I'd like also to present one of the key players in making sure that the 20% of the DDF is being signed by the district governor, no less than our district Rotary Foundation coordinators, from District 3770, past District Governor Pichoy Ramirez, from District 3780, past District Governor Ray David, from District 3790, past District Governor Jess Sama, from District 3800, past District Governor Nelson Aspe, from District 3810, past District Governor Lisa Elorde, from District 3820, past District Governor Evet Olivan, from District 3830, past District Governor Al Montecillo, from District 3850, past District Governor Toto Locsin, from District 3860, past President Stephen Chiang, and from District 3870, past District Governor Manny Along. Allow me to present with pride the End Polio Now core team with Deputy End Polio Now coordinator Ricky Andres, our Polio Plus Society coordinator Carla Espinosa, and we now have our public image support and tech support team, Mike Panedo and Christopher Laguna. So I give credit where credit is due. Next slide, please. So I'd like to call on Ricky Andres, our Deputy End Polio Now coordinator, to present his team of district polio coordinators. Ricky?
Thank you so much, EPNC Mayan. And once again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. And it is an honor and privilege to introduce to you all the energetic, very supportive district polio coordinators in Zone 10A, Philippines. And I would like to start with from District 3770, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, Maria Lourdes Capili. From District 3780, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, Arnel Abrenica. From District 3790, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, Lily Michelle Canlas. From District 3800, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, past District Governor Mac Hermoso. From District 3810, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, past President Winston Onchinque. From District 3820, District Polio Subcommittee Chair and the District Governor nominee designate, Jeremy Lo. From District 3830, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, Carrie De Venecia. From District 3850, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, Maricar Octaviano. From District 3860, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, Joel Inabangan. And from District 3870, District Polio Subcommittee Chair, Bambi Sadaba. Thank you. Go, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Deputy End Polio Now coordinator Vicky. And also, I would like to inform everyone that the person responsible for our wonderful weekly newsletter, Zone 10A End Polio Now newsletter, is Ricky Andres. I don't know where he gets the energy to do this weekly. So thank you very much, Ricky. And I tell you, this newsletter is circulated all over the world. So I encourage all the clubs and districts to submit their polio-related activities, and especially when you wear the red and Polio Now t-shirt, to your district polio coordinators. Now I'd like to call on a past district polio coordinator and the first Polio Plus Society Coordinator in Zone 10A, and actually the first ever appointed in the whole world, as witnessed by Brenda, I'd like to call on the beautiful Carla Espinosa. Carla?
Thank you, Gov. Mean, for that wonderful introduction. So it's an honor to introduce to you another energetic team of Zone 10A, our Polio Plus Society coordinators. And before I introduce them, I would like to inform everybody present here tonight that we have 1,500 Polio Plus Society members in Zone 10A and still counting. And these Polio Plus Society members pledge to give $100 yearly until polio is eradicated in the world. So to start with, our Polio Plus Society of District 3770, Natividad Suaberon, from District 3780, Juliet Alunan, District 3790, Lily Michelle Edrada.
While waiting for the slide, I'd like to remind everybody to please rename yourself. This is for the Philippine Rotarians. To start with your district, because for now we're monitoring the attendance. There are the highest district with the most number of participants is District 3810. So thank you very much. You are most welcome again to have more Rotarians join in. We have saved the best for last, with due respect to our earlier speakers, because the district governor time to shine as they make their report, pledges, and commitment. So show slide, please. Kape. While waiting for our tech support to show the slide, here's a message from Robert. Robert, maybe you'd like to say how important the Polio Plus Society is in reaching the $50 million goal. While waiting for the tech support, I think there was a restart in the system.
Sure, man. What I think it is, it's not only the money we can raise, but I think maybe at the maximum, 1 out of 5 Rotarians worldwide give anything to Polio Plus. This is a way for them to participate. And if you're not participating, if you're not engaged in what Rotary's doing, and this is our #1 humanitarian project, you're missing it. So it is the money and what it can do, but it is the opportunity for every single Rotarian to give $100 a year until we finish, to be engaged, to participate. And as I tell people when I talk about polio to clubs and zones or wherever, district conferences, I hope this is your legacy. We are going to eradicate polio. It is my legacy. It's my wife, Charlene. This is our grandkids' legacy. And I hope you'll raise your hand saying, I was part of this. It's my legacy. We eradicated only the second disease from the face of the earth. And the Polio Plus Society, as Brenda talked about so succinctly, it is the way for every person to be involved.
Thank you, Robert. True enough, we'd like to also join in the party, as President Gordon said, that we belong to the Polio Plus Society and has contributed to the Polio Plus Fund. We remind everyone and we reiterate that polio's top priority is to end polio now. So in the words of past RI Director Gilger, we walk the talk, we lead the way. So I'd like now to present this part of our summit on the polio updates for Zone 10A. I'd like to introduce the stars of today's Polio Summit, the district governors. So presenting the district governors, and as we were discussing in our Viber chat group, in the absence of the district governor, the representative comes forward to make the report. So from District 3770, District Governor Rudy Enriquez. From District 3780, District Governor Paul Galang. From District 3790, District Governor Francis Cornejo. From District 3800, District Governor Pope Solis. From District 3810, District Governor Lai de la Cruz. From District 3820, District Governor William De Loro. From District 3830, District Governor J. Tambuntin. From District 3850, District Governor Mate Espina. From District 3860, District Governor Twinkle Gamboa. And from District 3870, District Governor Gigi Go. Our next slide would show our best wishes and congratulations and thank you to Rotary Year 2022-2023 Imagine Rotary Team for all-time high in polio giving. Record-breaking, if I may say, and there's no way to go but up. So our next slide would also show our district governors, our imaginative district governors. So thank you very much to imaginative district governor Noli Garcia, Florian Enriquez, Ana Lorenzana, Bobby Tanyag, Joyce Ambray, Gina C., Mildred Bitangcol, Kano Nang, Lilo Alinio, and Byong Ladu. Please give them a big round of applause. And amongst these 10 districts, 4 districts gave 20% of their DDF to polio. Starting with District 3790, thank you very much, Gov. Ana. District 3810, thank you very much, Gov. Joyce. District 3830, thank you very much, Gov. Mildred. And District 3860, thank you very much, Gov. Lilo. At trivia, District 3860 has been giving 20% of its DDF since 2013. They did not miss out in giving 20% of its DDF to polio. Thank you very much. And as mentioned by RI President Gordon, he expects no less than from his Creating Hope team to give to polio. So now we show the next slide, Beth. This is the record of last year, cash contributions and the total DDF. So look at the bottom line. We hit 1 million. Zone 10A Philippines for the first time broke 1 million and gave $1,120,436 to polio. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much. This is the check graph. Obviously, the check goes all the way up. It should not go down. So our highest all-time high was in 2023, where we hit $1,120,000, 436. Hopefully for ending 2023, 2024, it should go beyond the 1,120,000 mark. So please take note of this check graph, and we're very pleased. From 2018, we have increased our contribution to the polio fund. Again, thank you and maraming salamat. As of October 5, this is the polio standing of each district. So it's been 3 months since the start of the year, and I know that we will still catch up and there'll be more contributions to come, especially now that we're holding this summit and the fast approaching World Polio Day. So the next slide will show how much each district needs to raise to be at least at par with the contributions of last year. Now, I'd like to congratulate District 3780 because they already exceeded the contribution given last year. So congratulations, District 3780. I believe a huge chunk of this amount was from the personal cash contribution of past district governor and AKS, Johnny Yu. Maraming salamat. Thank you. So the challenge is posed to our Hope Creating team. I know you will raise more than the 1.1 million, and take note of our world goals. We need to raise $50 million per year to be matched 2:1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So we will be able to have $150 million. Also encourage the donations from the individuals. Clubs to give $1,500, of which the clubs will receive a Rotary citation, and for districts to give 20% of their GDF to polio. We now have the miracle. This is the magic fundraiser, the Polio Plus Society. You need to be a member of this society where you donate $100 per year to Polio Plus until the world is certified polio free. So please remember, we will celebrate World Polio Day on October 24. Actually, this Polio Summit is a pre-celebration, a pre-World Polio Day celebration. So for the attendees here, you have now been acknowledged to have participated in a pre-World Polio Day celebration. Again, the top 3 districts with the most number of citations will get a regional citations for the attendance in this Zone 10A Polio Summit. World Polio Day, October 24. Please register your activities in www.endpolio.org. So now we are open for Q&A. I would like to call on our facilitator, actually RRFC and past district governor Penny Policarpio is mobile, so we'd like to request our EMGA, past district governor June Farcon, to handle the Q&A. The floor is now open for Q&A, and for those with questions, please type your question in the chat box and address it to a specific person, if any, or you may raise your hand so we can see who you are. Please tech support, put the screen in gallery mode so we can see everybody. Gob June? All right.
Yes.
The floor is yours, Gob June.
Okay, I'll be more than happy to take over RRFC Penny Policarpio for this part of the program. As mentioned by Gob Mayan, we have simple rules. You can ask question, you can use the chat box. Just type your question and the person you would like to answer the question. Now, in the meantime that we're still waiting for the chat box question, let me just have one question. This came in. It's a phone-in question. And Gomean, tell me, who do you want to answer this question? The question goes like this. Is it true that the remaining district designated fund by the end of the Rotary year can no longer be rolled over? Okay.
Yes. Can we request past RI President John to answer that?
It can be rolled over. It goes to 26 before it automatically rolls over to either one of the 7 areas of focus, polio or peace, or to the general endowment. So yes, you can look at your DDF from June the 30th of 2023, and you can give any of that you want to the polio campaign.
Okay, thank you very much, past RI President John Jer. Now for the next question. Again, this is a phone-in question from our participants. Now, if there is a special event at the Rotary International Convention for Paul Harris Fellows, the question goes like this. Can we have a special event for Polio Plus Society members at the Rotary International Convention? I know the one who should answer this probably is Global Polio Plus Society Chair Brenda. Brenda?
Oh, thank you. I love that question. And certainly we can start the ball rolling that we might be able to have such a reception. So I will personally take that on as a challenge to make this happen. Stay tuned. Thank
That's
you.
so nice. Yes, that's so nice to hear. Global Polio Plus Society Chair Brenda, and we look forward if this is going to happen in the Singapore International Convention this coming May 2024. I'm now going over the chat box, Gobman, and apparently there's no question. Okay, it looks like we have a good presentation. Everything is clear. All the messages has been very inspiring. You know, one good thing about that is that if that is the case, then that means everybody understands. And that's why there is no question in the chat box.
Thank you very much, Gov June. And now we save, as I said, we saved the best for last. We now have the stars of this Polio Summit, our district governors and or their representative to make their report and their commitment. They are given they're not given not more than 5 minutes. And as I call your name, your slide will be shown and the governor or the representative is to make the presentation. So to begin with, from District 3770, I'd like to call on District Governor Rudy Enriquez.
Pleasant day, pleasant evening to all the dignitaries and all those present here. I am privileged to represent our District Governor Rudy, who is right now in a club induction. Our District 3770 has a total number of 79 Rotary clubs with a total number of 2,385 members. As of October 5, 2023, we have a total of 58 Polio Plus giving clubs with 1,500 giving clubs. Individuals giving of 1,000 to polio is one, and we have, as of this date, a total of 130 Polio Plus Society members, and we are still growing with the help of our Polio Plus Society coordinator in the person of IPP Nati Swaberon. The total cash contribution as of this date is $19,071. For the DDF, of course, our governor will share before the year ends, and the total cash contribution plus DDF is $19,071. Our goal for this Rotary year is to raise more funds for polio, of course. As compared to last year, we have been growing in contributions and donations through the last 6 years that I am the Polio Plus Society coordinator. Polio Plus coordinator. We also campaign to achieve 100% polio giving clubs. That is our commitment for this year. Encourage more clubs to give 1,500. Last year we have 8, and more individuals to give at least $1,000, and to have more Polio Plus Society members. For the World Polio Day celebration, our district has grouped by areas and by zone geographically, and we have prepared various activities to create awareness, intensify awareness, and to campaign to raise more funds for polio. We have various fundraising schemes like Gold for Polio, Walk for Polio, Zumba for Polio, and a lot more activities to be done during the week of the World Polio Day. And so we never stop working for polio because it's a promise that we have to keep for our beautiful children of the world. And as Rotarians, we have all the opportunity to make it happen. Thank you very much, and this is all my report for District 3770. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, District Polio Coordinator Lou, for your report and for your commitment to raise funds, more funds for polio, and please register your events for the World Polio Day celebration, especially your golf tournament amongst others. And I know for the knowledge of everybody, Lou has been one of the hardworking district polio coordinators through the years. As the start of my EPNC, it was also my start of friendship with district polio coordinator Lou. So thank you very much, Lou. Now we'd like to call on from District 3780, District Governor Paul Galang.
Thank you, Gov. Mian. Again, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. And on behalf of 3780, we express our firm support for End Polio Now program. And in line with this, our district has submitted 55,000 for Polio Plus, which is the highest in the Zone 10A. This month, we are committed to attain 100% club giving to Polio Fund. We thank all the generous givers to the foundation, especially our AKS Foundation Circle, Pasig Governor Johnny Yu, and PP Veronica. And because of you, we can end polio now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gov. Paul, and we're looking forward to a good or great performance from District 3780. In fact, you've already exceeded your polio standing performance versus last year. Thank you. And thank you for hosting this virtual Polio Summit as you've always done since year one. Thank you, Gov. Paul.
Welcome, Gov, and thank you so much. Also.
Thank you so much. And from District 3790, we'd like to call on District Governor Francis Cornejo. District 3790, Gov Francis. Or District Polio Coordinator. Or the DRFC, Gov Jess Sama. Anyone from District 3790? I will move on in the interest of time, but please, if anybody from District 3790 will be around, please give me a private message or please put a message in the chat box, so we'll call you after 3870. So we proceed to District 3800. I'd like to call on District Governor Hope Solis. District 3800, please. I believe District 3800 will be represented by past District Governor and currently the District Polio Coordinator, Mac Hermosa. Gov Mac.
Thank you very much. My governor is busy, but he wishes everyone here tonight, all the Polio Plus fighters, good evening, greetings of peace and prosperity from my District 3800. So just to continue with the report, the number of Rotary clubs we have last Rotary year was 108, and we now have 106. The number of Rotarians we have was 2,940, and now we are over 3,000. Last year, we had 108 clubs, all 100% giving to polio. Right now, we have 60, but the plan is, of course, to have the 108 clubs giving to polio this Rotary year. Last year, we had 39 clubs giving $1,500 at least to polio. As of now, we have 4, but hopefully we can exceed the number of 39. So maybe by 10%. The number of individuals giving $1,000 or more to polio was 20. And hopefully, again, we will try to increase that. Now we have the number at 4. The number of Polio Plus Society members last Rotary year was 400. And now we have 30 new members of the Polio Plus Society. So it's now at 430. And I think the total target of the governor is 10% increase. So 440 by the end of the year. And by the way, we plan to have a fellowship with all these Polio Plus Society members so that we can convince them to really continue and to convince them and to monitor their annual giving to polio. So, okay. And with their help, we are going to try to convince more and more Rotarians in 3800 to give to polio. Just like what I heard from past RI Director Gillian Tumangan, he says maybe 80% of the Rotarians in the Philippines could give to polio. So let's say for District 38, let's try to get 50% at least of the Rotarians of 3,800 giving any amount to polio. So anywhere from 1,000 pesos to 2,000 pesos, that would be a big help for the other Rotarians. Cash contributions, we were able to deliver $270,000. Of course, this mostly came from past RI Director Rafi Garcia. So we are now at $21,000. Our governor's goal for polio this year is $100,000 minus the contributions, of course, of the Garcia family. Amount given to polio DDF last year, 50,000. Hopefully, we will have some DDF left by the end of the year to also give to polio. And last year's cash and DDF contribution to polio was $320,000. Now we are again $21,000. We will try, of course, to hit that figure, but I guess with much difficulty, unless we are helped by past RI Director Rafi, the most generous benefactor of polio in the Philippines. And of course, as a district leader for polio, I would like to give my share before World Polio Day. So maybe next week I will be giving online my usual contribution to polio. But my friends, before we go 3,800, we'd just like to talk about a very unique project of District 3,800. It's a polio fun run, but was started during the pandemic. So how the pandemic? Well, one of our past presidents, Carlo Reyes, Carlo, will you please join me on board for this meeting?
Thank
To talk
you.
about polio. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Govmac. I hope everyone can hear me very well. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my fellow Rotarians. I was tasked to again head the Takbo Contra Polio, or it's a fun run to celebrate the World Polio Day this year. We actually started this in 2020 when I served as the transforming president in 2020, and then we had to come up with a virtual fun run to celebrate World Polio Day. And back then we were able to convince 1,000 runners or 1,000 Rotarians to participate. So this actually created and promoted awareness of our End Polio campaign. And we were able to raise a bit of funds, around $6,000 US. But then I was thinking back then, why do we have to put in so much effort to have a fun run or to convince everyone to participate in this campaign where we could just, donate our funds directly to the Polio Fund. And then sometime in 2020, I joined some of our health workers, and we went around the community giving the vaccine to children. I noticed most of the families, they do not want the vaccines. But when I was wearing the End Polio shirt with the Rotary logo, I tried to convince them to accept the vaccine. They saw the Rotary logo, and they recognized the logo. These are the people that have been helping us. These are the people that have been giving us service projects for a very long time. So then I was able to convince them to give the vaccine to their children. So as Robert mentioned earlier, it is actually what we do with the money. I am very proud to be part of Zone 10A, and because I know Rotarians from this zone are very generous, but we have to make sure that the vaccines are reaching the children, because if they do not reach the children, then our money just goes to waste.
Thank you very much.
So we will.
Thank you very much, Carlo, about your
Yes.
Takbo run, for sharing it with everyone here. So, Govmac, thank you so much. We'd like to proceed with our next presentation from District 38.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you so much. Congratulations in advance for the success of your Takbo. And please share the information, especially have it featured in our newsletter. Thank you. Our next presentation would be from District 3810, we'd like to call on District Governor Lai de la Cruz. I believe she will be represented by District Polio Coordinator, Past President Winston Ong-Ching-Ki. Winston?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening to all. I'm representing my governor, Governor Lai de la Cruz. She's right now on, she has a governor's visit and induction, and she sent her apologies that she won't be able to attend this summit. Anyway, to start with the report, right now we have 114 Rotary clubs with 3,130 Rotarians. The number of clubs giving to Polio Plus right now is 14. The number of 1,500 giving clubs, we have 1. And the number of 1,000 giving individual, we have 2. The number of Polio Plus Society is right now is 133, and we have 140 that pledged last year that I hope to get them contribute to polio. Our cash contribution right now is 6,200, and our governor has not yet committed any DDF for to polio, and our governor's pledge Polio Plus goal is 15,000. Anyway, I'd like also to report, I'd like to thank the previous year for their achievement, District Governor Joyce Ambre and my predecessor, PP Corak, for their job well done. I know that my task is so enormous that I will be making hard to strive to get the our polio contribution up. Right now, I'd like to report that we have polio fundraising campaign by our Rotaractors, and we also have our DFRC Lisa Lorde. Her club have raised 2,200 just recently. And also, we will be having more polio campaign awareness on October 24. We will be having a motorcade and a patak polio in Cavite. The motorcade will be in Manila, Pasay. Also, I like to say that we have Alay Lakad, wherein majority of our Rotary clubs participated. Almost about 200 Rotarians, interactors, Rotaractors, and we all wear the polio to create awareness, polio shirt. Anyway, again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to report.
Thank you very much, District Polio Coordinator Winston. If I may go back to District 3800, of which past District Governor Mac Hermoso reported on their goal to raise $100,000 and more through the generosity of the Garcia family. I'd also like to say that from District 3800, the top 3 donors to polio are past RI Director Rafi Garcia, past President Nick De Guzman, and of course, past District Governor Mac Hermoso. He is very humble and by always contributing to the polio fund. And I'd like also to mention past District Governor Benny Ricafort. All 4 generous individuals come from District 3800. And earlier we heard past RI Director Rafi. He always comes up with a surprise at the end of the year. However, we are welcome to a surprise maybe by the end of this summit if he permits himself. But I'm not putting him in a spot. Usually his surprise comes at the end of the year. But then again, we welcome a surprise here in this summit. Right, past RI Director Rafi? Okay, I'd like now to proceed to the report of District 3820. I'd like to call on District Governor William Deloro or any representative. District 3820.
Hi, good evening, Gov. Mayan.
Hello, District Governor nominee Jeremy Law, the District Polio Coordinator.
Yeah, Gov. I will be the one who will represent Gov. William. It's because of he's in our governor's visit for our district. For district level is 155, and the number of our Rotarians is 5,050, and the number of clubs giving to Polio Plus is 28. For 1,500 giving is 3, and for 1,000 giving individual is 1. Number of Polio Plus Society members is 310. Then for cash contribution is 4,310. And we have deposited last October 16, but the RI is not yet updated for October 17. We have deposited around $10,821 US dollars. And now our total cash contribution is 15,131. Back to you, Gov. Mayan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gov. Jeremy. And I know 3820 with a number of Rotarians of 4,000 plus. Can you imagine if all of them become Polio Plus Society members? I see Brenda nodding. Yes, that'll be equivalent to how much, right? So let's kind of work on that. Let's push on that, right, Gov. Jeremy? This will be your how do you call this, initiation before you begin your term as governor as well. This will guarantee you your cash fund when you begin your term for polio. Is that correct, Brenda? Okay, now from District 3830, I'd like to call on District Governor J. Tambuntin. Gov. J. Gov. J is here. Unmute yourself, Gov. J. Anybody from 3830? I know I saw Gov. J earlier. And as mentioned by past RI Director Rafi and also past RI President John, Gov. J is the son of the late past District Governor June Tambunting, one of the polio pioneers. So,
I think Gov. He left already.
Oh, he did? Any representative from 3830? So I guess we need to proceed to District 3850. We'd like to call on District Governor Mate Espina, our representative. So, Mate. Okay, I will proceed. Now, if anybody comes in later, please put your message in the chat box. I'd like to proceed to District 3860. I'd like to call on District Governor Twinkle Gamboa, and I understand she's represented by District Polio Coordinator Joel Inabangan. Joel?
Thank you so much, Gov. Mian. Protocols has been observed. Good evening. Magandang gabi from Jensen, Philippines. In behalf of our District Governor of District 3860, Roseanne Twinkle C. Gamboa, I'd like to walk you through on the present landscape of the Polio Plus giving in District 3860. My report presents comparative figures at the close of the imaginative Rotary year or as of June 30, 2023 versus this hope creating year as of today, October 18, 2023. As for the number of Rotary clubs, District 3860 grew by 2% from 100 clubs during the preceding Rotary year to 102 clubs as of today. Number of Rotarians had also increased and still hoping to increase from 2,592 to 2,715, or an increase of 123 Rotarians as of this date. Number of clubs giving to Polio Plus as of this date stands at 36, while the number of clubs with at least 1,500 US dollars giving to Polio Plus now stands at 15 clubs. The number of individuals with 1,000 US dollars giving to Polio Plus is currently stood at 13 compared to 10 last Rotary year. The number of Polio Plus Society members had also increased from 65 during the preceding Rotary year to a year-to-date figure of 75. Total cash contribution to Polio Plus Fund for a little over the first quarter of this hope-creating year stands at 43,758.57 US dollars, or roughly 40% of the 108,334 cash contribution last Rotary year. Our district governor, Roseanne Twinkle Yamboa, had pledged and committed ever since that she's giving 20% of her term's DDF to Polio Plus Fund, which to date is allocating an amount of 15,191 based on the current annual fund collected. And lastly, for everyone's information, District 3860 has been doing some polio awareness and Polio Plus fund generation initiatives like the bike ride to end polio, which we are implementing in a tri-leg end polio bike ride across the geographically challenged district, with bike rides in 2 separate locations in the Visayas and Mindanao, which started on September 10, that the bikers are all set to end their rides in Davao City, Philippines on November 18. Another fund generation initiative we have to end polio is the Mount Apo climb for a cause. To end polio now, Rotarians are encouraged to give 100 US dollars to Polio Plus Fund. And the last but not the least is the continual polio vaccination that we would be formally launching come October 22 to 24. Thank you very much. Good Mian.
Thank you very much, Joel. My regards to Gov Twinkle, who just celebrated her birthday a few days ago. And yes, District 3860 for a trivia has been giving 20% of its DDF to polio since 2013. So thank you very much, District 3860. And I'm very proud to belong to 3860. We walk the talk, we lead the way. Give 20% of the DDF to polio. Maraming salamat. Next, we will call on District 3870, District Governor Gigi Go. Yes. Reminder for those without speaking part to please mute themselves. Any representative from District 3870? Okay, for those who have missed the report, I think we will be fining you $100 for Polio Plus. Is there somebody speaking for 3870?
Good evening
All right,
po.
so-
I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, now you're recognized.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Okay, I will be reporting about the state of our district Polio Plus report as for District 3870. Well, last year, we ended up at $24,162, which is the highest so far achievement for the district. But as to date, it's not a significant amount yet for us due to as the club is facing, most clubs facing quite a few challenges. But I believe in the strength of District 3870, so we will try to make up in the remaining months. And our district governor has a goal of increasing its membership to 1,500. So we hope to get more Polio Plus Society members from there, and also increase from old members the number of Polio Plus Society members, contributors also. And as for the DDF, no commitment as to date. AG promised that the district will also try to at least raise more funds for this year. So I think that's just about it for now.
Thank you very much, District Polio Coordinator Bambi. So you've heard it from the 10 districts. Again, we're overwhelmed with the figures, but a gentle reminder as per message from RI President Gordon, he hopes that the figures will increase for this year, for the hope-creating year. So as we always heard from the start, we lead the way, we walk the talk. Now, it is also with hope that we also have almost a 100% giving clubs in Zone 10A. Congratulations last year because we had 98% polio giving clubs in Zone 10A. And that is for the record. And that has been emphasized during the IPPC meeting and the EPNC meeting that I've attended the past days. So I'm very proud. Congratulations, Zone 10A. And you will make me prouder this year. This is my last year as your End Polio Now coordinator. And I'm very pleased that my successor, no less than past District Governor Marilu Ko of District 3800, is here with us. Gov Marilu, please say something, say hello, so you'll be recognized. So I know Gov Marilu, Zone 10A is in good hands as we finish the end to polio for Zone 10A and the whole world. And we will have to fulfill the promise to the children to make the world polio free. Now let us hear a message on World Polio Day. Play video.
Greetings, my Rotary family. World Polio Day on the 24th of October is our opportunity to celebrate our progress towards polio eradication and moving people to act so we can reach the finish line, eliminating forever the emotional burden children and parents face in dealing with this devastating disease. 2023 is a critical year for polio eradication efforts, as the Global Polio Eradication Initiative aggressively works to achieve two significant milestones reflected in our strategic plan. The first milestone is to interrupt the transmission of wild poliovirus type 1. Only 2 countries remain endemic for the wild poliovirus, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Intensified efforts in both countries have resulted in the fewest numbers of virus types in history, validating our progress. The second milestone is to report the last case of circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2 in those areas that are prone to repeated polio outbreaks that can be so difficult to control. They are also home to some of the largest populations of zero-dose children. That is, children who are either unvaccinated or under-vaccinated. Although the number of cases is down from 2022, experience tells us that even one case is one too many. And polio has repeatedly shown us that it's difficult to get across the finishing line and eliminate the virus. Our work together has brought us to the threshold of a polio-free world. We're 99.9% of the way there. We need to work together to get through this final mile. Every Rotary member needs to be part of this effort in some way. Please, donate funds and let's meet our target of $50 million to earn the full 2-to-1 match from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Donate time and continue to spread awareness that polio is ours to eradicate if we work together. You've done incredible work thus far, and you will get us over that finish line and take us to victory. Together, let's give this amazing gift to the world's children. Together, we end polio.
On October 24th, the world unites to mark a day of hope and determination. World Polio Day, a day when we stand together to eradicate one of humanity's deadliest diseases. Polio once paralyzed millions, but thanks to the Rotary Polio Plus program and the generous donations from people like you, we're on the brink of victory. The Rotary Polio Plus program has tirelessly fought to protect vulnerable children in the most remote areas of the world. Yet, there are still areas where the virus persists. Together, we can end polio for good. Join us on this historic endeavor. Donate now at endpolio.org and be a part of the generation that ends polio once and for all. Together, we can change the course of history and ensure a world where every child is free from the fear of polio. October 24th, World Polio Day. Let's make history. Donate now at endpolio.org and help us finish the fight against polio.
Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for your support in the End Polio Now Polio Plus program when I started as EPNC 4 years ago, or more than 4 years ago. Thank you so much from the champion governors, transforming governors, life-changing governors, imaginative governors, and now the hope-creating governors who I'll be working for the last time at End Polio Now coordinator. Again, allow me to introduce my successor, past District Governor Marilu Ko of District 3800. Governor Marilu.
Thank you very much, Gov. Mayan. You know, I will really do my best. You are a very difficult, a tough act to follow. You really did a very good job. And please be assured that I'm going to call you for help. Thank you very much, Gov.
Thank you, Gov. Marilu. I'm just a text and a call away. You know that, and everybody knows that. And I see now in the platform, he was mobile earlier. Of course, I'd like to recognize our Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator, past District Governor Penny Policarpio. Maybe you can say a few words, Gov, before we close this summit.
Yes, once again, to everyone who's here, my greetings and my sincere expression of thanks and gratitude for your participation. Governor Mayan and to the EPNC team, once again, you have done your level best and you have outdone yourselves in this Polio Summit. With your enthusiasm, everyone here, I am sure that this Rotary will be once again a banner year for TRF and for our End Polio program. So, Governor Mayan, congrats. Passion.
Thank you, Gov. Together, everyone achieves more. Is that correct, past President John? That is correct. Now, to formally close major gift advisor, Gov. June Parcon.
Hardworking, past District Governor Mary Ann, and also member of the International Polio Plus Committee. You know, we have worked together, Gov. Mayan. I was really thinking that it was your valedictory speech already, but not yet. We still have one whole year to finish, and that's been a great year so far. Protocol already observed. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. As they say, all good things must come to an end. And tonight is not an exception. And let me continue by saying, all is well that ends well. The a Philippines Rotary Foundation team and the End Vice President Michael McGovern, of course, past RI Vice President and the First Lady TRF Trustee Chair and now Global Polio Plus Society Chair Brenda Crissy, RI Director Gimbok Chu, our past RI Directors Robert Hall, Gert, and Rafi Garcia. Thank you so much for all your inspiring messages and comprehensive reports, and for simply being with us tonight in our 2023 World Polio Summit, expressing your solidarity with Zone 10A in this virtual Polio Summit. Of course, we would like to thank our hope-creating governors, the District Rotary Foundation chairs, the District Polio coordinators, and now we have the Polio Plus Society coordinators as well, and all the members of the TRF team for your outstanding, I would say, Govmean, outstanding first quarter performance on polio, because Zone 10A ranked number 5 worldwide in polio. We are indeed hitting the ground running, so to speak, in our first quarter, but this is still, I would say, a challenge for us to match what we achieved last year, which has been truly a banner year. Thank you for all our hope-creating governors for your pledges and commitments. We really hope that with the inspiring message of President Gordon earlier this evening, it will now be different as we move forward to our second quarter, third, and the last quarter of the Rotary year. We wish to thank also all program participants, with special mention, of course, to our moderator and Polio Now coordinator, Mean. You're really making wonders for polio. And of course, those who participated for the invocation, Assistant RRFC, Connie Beltran, and Deputy and Polio Now Coordinator, Ricky Andres. Of course, Deputy Polio Plus Society Coordinator, Carla Espinosa. And we have also our RRFC, Penny Policarpio, with us. And I think past District Governor Lilo Olino also have a part in the program. And the most important of them all, we would like to thank all those who participated, all those who joined the 2023 World Polio Summit. It couldn't have been possible without your participation tonight. So tonight is not the end, but it is again another beginning of another campaign to raise more funds to finish what we started in the Philippines. Everybody mentioned that in 1979, and to make sure that together we will end polio now. Together we will create hope in the world. Together we will make history. Together we will end polio worldwide. A pleasant good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all.
I think one deserves a big round of virtual applause. Click your icon. Great. Please open your video. And on the count of 3 by our tech support, you smile. Are you in Maine?
I'm in Prague.
Oh, wow, you're in Prague. Brenda, where are
I'm
you?
here in Maine.
Oh, you're in Maine, right? Shumashri is here, all the way from Shumashri. Are you here? Is that how it's pronounced? And Polio now coordinator Shaimashri.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Brenda,
Thank
John,
you.
and Mike are busy in the email, already making plans for Singapore convention.
Thank you.
We're
Good night.
excited.
Good, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening. Thank
Good
you.
evening.
I'll be following up your pledges.
Yeah, we're gonna go have lunch over here now, man.
Right,
Thank you very much,
right.
everyone.
Thank you very much for the
Thank you.
All the
Polio
best.
There's a
Summit
recording.
tonight.
Yeah,
To all
there's a
the
recording.
speakers.
So we will give all the districts a copy of the recording, and of course our esteemed speakers will give you a copy of the recording as well.
Yeah, that'd be good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for the record.
Online now for your contribution. Go online.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Online.
Online contribution. World Polio Day, October 24.
Yes. Go online. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.